the process of selecting jurors, and how many can you turn down, and how hard is it to get the most of what you want in a juror?
Okay. They're selected in the voir dire, which is where you ask them questions. Basically, you're trying to find jurors that are going to be able to impartially look at the facts of the case. Usually for charges like these, you would have 12 jurors and 4 alternates, but because of social distancing in this case, they're going to have 12 and 2 alternates. How hard is it to get what you want in a jury? I mean, it's a chess game, to be honest. I mean, as the prosecutor, you're sitting there and watching what the defense is doing and who they're striking so that you can kind of back yourself up to know who you have to kind of move around to get the people that you want.
So I want to break that down even more. What do you think, because you are a former prosecutor, what do you think the prosecution is likely to be looking for in selecting this jury?
I think that the prosecution has I won't say an easy job, but a well-informed jury panel, because we were all at home during the summer for COVID and saw everything that happened. Mm-hmm. So people are tuned in to this case. So the prosecutor, to me, their biggest job at this time is to watch who the defense wants off the jury and why they want them off, and bank opportunities to raise Batson challenges saying that they're striking jurors for racial bias reasons.
Okay. Well, Sue Ann, how important is it to have people of color selected in the jury?
I think it's absolutely important. It's just as important, if not more important, than voting, because all these issues, all of these things that we're dealing with right now with our current criminal justice system ends in that room with the trial. Everything we've marched for, everything we've talked about, all the legislation, everything that we're working so hard on is going to come to its head in this trial. And so it's very important to have people of color so that it's diverse perspectives and people that can look at the facts of the case and use common sense.
What type of jury do you think the defense likely wants to see?
The defense probably wants a jury of people who have never heard of Black Lives Matter and don't care for it, and may be super into Blue Lives Matter. Because the idea is that they're using a standard, a reasonable Minneapolis police officer standard. So they need people that are going to sit there and look through that lens very easily.
Okay. Now, the other 3 officers who were charged are not expected to testify at Chauvin's trial. Do you think that's harmful or helpful to the prosecutor's case?
If I was the prosecutor, that would help me, because I would argue to that jury, hey, his boys aren't even here. Like, what does that tell you? That they're not here to stand up for what he did. I would argue absence of evidence, lack of evidence for sure, because to me, those are material witnesses.
So, yeah, I like that. No, I want to keep going with that, because if you were a prosecutor in this case, any other things that, as far as your approach to this particular trial?
Well, I would have charged that 3rd degree murder from the beginning. I wouldn't be tussling with it right now, because I would have added it in from the beginning, because, you just want to have a safe place to when you're arguing to the jury, especially when the standard is what it is, a reasonable officer. So you really need a safe space. And I think that's why they're pushing so hard to get that 3rd degree in there, in case they can't get first, in case they're unable to prove the charges that they already have. That's why they're in this tussle right now to get the appellate court to rule.